Hello everyone, welcome to today's weekly market insights. Now, as we have a look across markets this week, we have had a very boring week in markets. Very choppy, very range bound, not much fundamental drivers to give us some direction in markets. Now, the reason behind that, as we come across to the calendar, is due to the fact that yesterday the Jackson Hole Symposium, a forum where a bunch of central bankers and a bunch of policy experts get together to give their views on certain topics. Now, the main focus for this week in Jackson Hole is the Fed's chairman Jerome Powell's speech that comes at 3 o'clock today. Now, markets all this week have been lying in wait in anticipation for what he might say. Now, we did hear yesterday out of Fed's Kaplan that the talk of tapering, the date for potential beginning of tapering asset purchase, the tapering of their bond buying program should be relayed to the public on the September meeting of next month. So that kind of makes today's speech, doesn't make it irrelevant. Have we been raiding around doing nothing all week? Does remain to be seen. Now, as we come across to the markets, we see across here in the S&P, across global indices, S&P, the Dow, the Nasdaq, even the FTSE and the DAX. FTSE and the DAX will be driven by their US counterparts for the most part. We see choppy range-bound action again across the ASX, the Australian stock market. The one market that we do have a bit of direction in terms of equity markets is the Nikkei. Now, we've had a bit of a move lower as we blow this chart up. We can see we have bounced off a level of resistance here. You know, if we touch back here, and definitely very strong touch all the way back here, making this a valid level of resistance above that we have bounced off. Now, the reason for more downside in the Nikkei, again, as I've been saying for a few weeks now, is the Delta variant across Asian markets, still negatively impacting economies due to the COVID situation across multiple countries and multiple economies having to have increased restrictions, increased lockdown measures, weighing on economic growth. Now, as we bring it across to the dollar page, again we can see here Aussie, Kiwi sideways, dollar yen bit sideways, a little bit more upside momentum here on dollar yen as well as dollar Swiss, but really nothing too much of note. Dollar CAD chopping sideways, cable, and also euro dollar choppy as anything. Markets clearly across the board all sitting, lying in anticipation for what Jerome Powell is going to say later on today at 3 o'clock. Other bits of news, unfortunately, we got a bit of news out yesterday afternoon that there was a bomb, an explosion outside Kabul airport in Afghanistan. Shocking scenes throughout the country, still continuing now as they have been for the last couple of weeks. As of now, there is a death toll of 73 people, 13 of them being American troops, people that work for the army. Joe Biden came out and said that they will retaliate, they will go back, and it remains to be seen heading into the future how strong a stance the President of the United States decides to take. Back to the calendar, again 3 o'clock today, main focus of this week. Choppy sideways markets all week. Can we get a bit of direction, spark these markets into life on a Friday afternoon? Remains to be seen. And as we bring it across to the calendar for next week, first Friday of the month, every first Friday of the month is the eagerly anticipated non-farm payrolls, the jobs report out of the US. Now, we had a strong jobs report out of the US last month. You know, can we get the same this month and further increase those expectations for a hawkish Fed? That's all from us. We will update later on when Jerome Powell is out this afternoon. Please do stay tuned for that, and we will see you next week for another weekly market insights.